What if everything you're chasing right now, the career milestone, the dream physique, the luxury home, the validation from people who barely matter is nothing but a cruel waste of your limited time on earth? I'm 45 years old. Stage 4, pancreatic cancer. Doctors gave me half a year. That was 5 months ago. I've got roughly 4 weeks remaining, possibly fewer. And with whatever time I have left, I'm going to spare you from decades of regret, wasted years, and pain that I'll never recover. This isn't some sentimental, feel-good speech about living every day like it's your last. This is me furious with myself for the life I lived, desperate to prevent you from repeating my catastrophic mistakes. Because here's the brutal truth nobody shares. There's no advance warning, no time to prepare. One day, you're healthy, functioning, living your routine. The next day, a doctor is delivering a death sentence, and suddenly everything you believed mattered becomes completely irrelevant. I was a corporate attorney, made partner at 38, six-figure income, corner office with a view. I worked 70-hour weeks for 2 decades straight, missed my daughter's school performances because of depositions, skipped anniversaries because of trials. I kept telling myself, just a few more years, just reach this next level, then I'll ease up, then I'll finally have time for my family. Then I'll take that Italy vacation my wife keeps mentioning. I never eased up. I'm never seeing Italy. My daughter is 16 now. Last week she told me something that shattered me. Dad, you were always around, but you were never really present. She's absolutely right. I was physically there sometimes, but mentally I remained at the office, always consumed by the next case, the next client, the next billable hour. Want to hear something darkly ironic? 2 weeks after my diagnosis, I received the email I'd been anticipating for years. They were promoting me to senior partner. The achievement I'd sacrificed 20 years pursuing. The accomplishment I convinced myself would justify everything. When I read that email, I felt nothing. Actually, that's inaccurate. I felt pure, white-hot rage, because I had traded my entire existence for a meaningless title that holds zero value now. Here's what I desperately wish someone had told me at 25. Success is the most dangerous goal you can pursue. I know that sounds insane, but achievement functions as a psychological trap. You get the promotion, feel satisfied for 48 hours, then immediately crave the next one. You earn 6 figures, then hunger for 7. You get the corner office, then covet the bigger corner office. The cycle never terminates. The goalposts constantly shift. And before you comprehend what's happening, you're 45 and dying, realizing you spent your entire adult existence chasing things that hold no real significance. I had a friend, Marcus. We attended law school together. He dropped out after 1 year, said he refused to spend his life in courtrooms. I thought he was making a catastrophic mistake. He became a high school teacher, earned $50,000 annually. I made triple that amount. I felt intellectually superior. Know what Marcus actually did with his life? He coached basketball, attended every single one of his kids' games, took his wife on weekend getaways, volunteered at a soup kitchen every Sunday, read extensively, learned guitar at 40. He lived, I worked, I accumulated, I achieved, but I didn't actually live. Last month, Marcus visited me in the hospital. Looking at him, I realized a devastating truth. He's the successful one, not me. Because he actually experienced his life while I just worked through mine. Here's the second devastating truth I learned too late. The perfect time is never arriving. Never. I told myself I'd travel after retirement. I promised myself I'd learn piano someday. I convinced myself I'd spend quality time with my wife after this trial, or after making partner, or after buying the house. Every single one of those afters was a lie, I told myself. My wife Sarah is 43. We've been married 18 years. Last week, sitting beside my hospital bed, she asked, "Remember when we discussed going to Paris for our 10-year anniversary?" I didn't remember, she continued. You said we'd go when work slowed down. I never went. Work never slowed down. And now I'm never walking Parisian streets with my wife. Never seeing the Eiffel Tower. Never sitting at a sidewalk cafe. Just being fully present with her. You know what haunts me most? It's not the major milestones I missed. It's the small, ordinary moments. It's Tuesday evenings, when Sarah wanted to simply sit on the couch watching a movie, and I said, "Not tonight. I need to prep for tomorrow." It's Saturday mornings, when my daughter wanted me to make pancakes with her, and I said, "Daddy has work to finish." It's every single instance I chose work over them because I assumed I had unlimited time. I didn't have unlimited time. None of us do. Here's what I am discovering in hospice care. The people who age gracefully, the 8 and 90-year-olds who visit me, who radiate happiness, who still have that sparkle in their eyes, they all figured out something I never did. They stopped waiting. They stopped postponing joy. They stopped living for someday and started living for today. I met this woman here, Helen. She's 87, volunteers at the hospice. She told me that when she turned 50, her husband died suddenly from a heart attack. That tragedy made her realize she'd been waiting her entire existence, waiting to travel, waiting to pursue her art, waiting to genuinely live. So she stopped waiting, sold her house, purchased an RV, and spent the next 15 years traveling across the country. She's visited all 50 states, created hundreds of paintings. She lived more intensely in those 15 years than I did in 45. Here's what destroys me. I had more financial resources than Helen, more opportunities, more options. But she lived while I worked. She experienced while I accumulated. She remained present while I stayed distracted. I'm lying in this hospital bed, unable to consume solid food anymore, can barely walk. I am on so many pain medications that half the time I can't remember what day it is. And you know what occupies my thoughts? I think about that stupid Saturday in 2019 when my daughter begged me to teach her riding a bike without training wheels, and I claimed I was too exhausted. I think about when Sarah suggested a spontaneous weekend beach trip, and I said I had excessive work. I think about every single moment I said not now, or maybe later, or I am too busy. Those moments vanished. I can't retrieve them. The bike sits in the garage, and I'm never teaching her to ride it. The beach is 3 hours away, and I'm never feeling sand between my toes with my wife again. This is what you must understand. You think you have time. You don't. You think you'll get around to it eventually. You won't. You think there'll be a perfect moment when everything aligns and you can finally live the life you envision. That moment doesn't exist. The thing you're pursuing, the wealth, the status, the ideal body, the approval, you're not actually chasing those external things. You're chasing a feeling. You think money will generate security. You think success will produce worthiness. You think approval will create love. But here's what nobody reveals. You can give yourself those feelings right now, this very second. I spent 20 years attempting to feel worthy through my career, trying to prove my value by making partner, by winning cases, by earning more. In the end, none of it generated that feeling of worthiness. You know when I finally felt truly worthy? Last week, when my daughter held my hand and told me she loves me not because of any achievement, just because I'm her dad. That's it. That's the feeling I chased for 2 decades. And I could have experienced it any Tuesday evening if I'd just closed my laptop and spent time with her. I have a bucket list I'm never completing. Learn Italian, visit Japan, read the classics, start that novel I always discussed, hike the Appalachian Trail, learn to sail. None of it is happening. The list sits on my bedside table, and each time I look at it, it reminds me of everything I postponed, everything I assumed I'd have time for later. But here's what you need to grasp. The bucket list isn't the problem. The problem is the word someday. The problem is thinking you'll do it after achieving this other thing first. The problem is not comprehending that life is happening right now, and every day you postpone is a day you're never recovering. My daughter turned 17 in 2 weeks. I'm probably not going to be present for her birthday. I'm definitely not walking her down the aisle at her wedding. I'm not meeting my grandchildren. All those moments I was working towards retirement, grandkids, finally having time, they're not coming. They were never guaranteed. I just assumed they were. Last night, Sarah asked me, if you could return and change one thing, what would it be? I told her the truth. I wouldn't change one thing. I would change everything. I would work less. I would be present more. I would say no to clients and yes to my family. I would take the trips. I would learn the guitar. I would sit on the couch watching stupid movies. I would make the pancakes. I would teach her to ride the bike. I would go to Paris. I would live, but I can't go back. The only thing I can do now is warn you. Don't wait. Don't postpone. Don't sacrifice your life for things that don't matter. Because when you're lying in a hospital bed with a month remaining, you're not going to care about your job title. You're not going to care about your salary. You're not going to care about how much you weighed or what people thought of you. You're going to care about the moments, the ordinary, unglamorous, beautiful moments you shared with people you love. And you're going to wish, God, you're going to desperately wish that you'd had more of them. I have 4 weeks left, maybe less. My daughter is at school right now. My wife is in the cafeteria getting coffee, and I'm lying here consumed by thoughts of all the time I wasted, all the moments I missed, all the things I said later to. Don't do what I did. Don't wait for someday. Don't postpone joy. Don't sacrifice your life for success, because success without life is just emptiness. Achievement without presence is just hollow. And money without moments is just numbers on a screen. Live now, right now, today. Call your parents, hug your kids, take the trip, learn the thing, do the scary thing, be present. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you want to live. I'm out of time, but you're not yet. So what are you going to do with yours?